What's next for Bitcoin? What's the latest news with Solana and low-cap altcoins? Watch today's whole video, because with Bitcoin, there are now 11 billion in shorts waiting to be liquidated. If Bitcoin reaches 73,000 and shorts being liquidated, is bullish meaning. If Bitcoin breaks out into the green and those shorts get liquidated, we explode higher. Yet if Bitcoin trades below this red zone, below above $59,000 longs get liquidated, suppressing the price lower. The leverage in the system is building as Bitcoin continues in this sideways summer. What comes next for Bitcoin, and what catalysts should we look to? Well, institutional demand for the U.S. Bitcoin ETFs enters its fifth straight day of negative fifth day of outflows for us. Bitcoin ETFs, with $140 million out as O-Fest yesterday. Now let's remember, this is a trailing indicator. It's not a leading indicator. This tells us what's already happened. Also, one of these days was a national holiday in the U.S., so the ETFs were closed. Although then, I'm not sure why that day reads as negative. Globally, accumulation is happening. Over 1 million of inflows today on day one of VanEck's Australia Bitcoin ETF, VanEck's first ever listing of AA Spot. Bitcoin ETF on Australia's stock exchange this week could help bring $1 billion of assets under management into Aussie digital asset ETFs, equivalent to around $72 billion in US. This on top of our estimates of $1 billion from the Hong Kong markets and $1 billion for South Korea adds up to $3 billion potential dollars for the Asia-Pacific region. So again, for every seller, there's a buyer. For every weak hand that wants to offload, there's a long-term holder, potentially a diamond hand they're offloading too. And Justin Dell CEO and billionaire Michael Dell posted this picture of the Cookie Monster eating Bitcoin. The picture says it all, and his retweet of Michael Saylor Bitcoin is digital scarcity says it all. Game theory is playing out. They're starting to realize Dell adding Bitcoin on their balance sheet soon. And here's why this is significant, because Michael Dell is the 14th richest man in the world, and now he's talking about Bitcoin. What are the chances he knows number 1 through 13th? Also, while some people may say that Dell is no longer relevant, Dell is doing $9 billion in ETA per year, doing fantastic. And while Michael Dell is still the majority owner, meaning he can still make the decisions, Dell is sitting on $6 billion in cash. Now he's posting about Bitcoin. Dude, you're getting a Dell. Also, major news for altcoins. A spot Solana ETF application has been filed in Canada. 3IQ Plans, a North America's first Solana ETF, and 3IQ Digital Asset Management is a Canadian investment firm. This has huge implications for a Solana ETF in America in the US, eventually. As just like with Bitcoin and Ethereum, it first happened in Canada, and the proposed fund named Q-Sol will be listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange and aims to track the price movement of Solana's native crypto Sol against the US dollar. Now will this get approved? Time will tell. But staking yields does appear to be a part of this, meaning if you invest in the ETF, they'll stake the Solana for you, and you can get those passive yields just by holding. This would set a major precedent as right. Now the US are appearing not to allow staking yields for the ETH ETF. Also news for Polygon and Cookie 3. Keep in mind as we go through this list, I am invested in these altcoins. But first, Cookie collaboration announcement. Cookie 3 and Polygon are collaborating to inject new projects into the Cookie ecosystem. Together, we are integrating a crucial AI data layer to enhance data-driven decisions across Polygon-based projects. But why this is pretty interesting is because Polygon wants data. They don't want to guess anymore. Just as a reminder, what is Cookie? Cookie 3 is an AI data layer and marketing FEI protocol that bridges businesses' Ks and Web3 users. What problem do they solve? The Cookie environment discovers novel means of communication, appropriate web content for pertinent viewers. 3 initiatives and awards obtained via rewarded data sharing. Essentially, when they refer to marketing, they simply mean because companies wish to market what they want to locate the ideal KS. They seek genuine users, claim they are against bots. But what if you featured an aggregate data layer that displayed this entire group of 3 habitats? Platforms provide greater assistance to marketers comprehend their audience and customize advertising campaigns and guarantee marketing allocations are delivered by advanced to quality users. Analytics driven by AI. So once more, the news. Today, Polygon formally witnesses the value that they are working together on projects using polygons. If you folks so desire, anyone can take advantage of this. Stake cookie for infinite airdrop terminology has just lately been revealed when the part of the lingo coin airdrop comes from shall proceed straight to cookie stakers and, not to mention, they have begun their first movers campaign lasting 60 days begin. That pool has 120 API for early stakers. Hence, if you want to farm some airdrops, are unquestionably a viable. Think about Ether initially as well. GPU NVIDIA outperforms Microsoft, rising to the top of the global value business based on market capitalization. One cryptocurrency is called Ether, an undertaking that has joined NVIDIA First program as a friendly reminder about what scalable Ether is creating: dispersed cloud computing infrastructure for AI in gaming and centralized cloud Ether's abundant supply of NVIDIA's storage. The largest in the DEN is H100 GPUs. Ecosystem allows for infinite scalability in order to propel AI innovation for our clientele. A significant number of enterprise GPUs are genuinely neglected privilege. Hence, if you glance at GPU utilization in enterprises, and the creator of Ether elucidates their capacity for growth and the manner in which they function properly. Hence, if you look GPU usage at enterprise, across US data centers, for instance, they're seated at a distance of roughly 18. I apologize for the 15–18% consumption on average, virtually 80% underutilization across this infrastructure. And this is really costly infrastructure, you say? You know, a H100 server is about $300,000 US dollars correctly based on the specifications, selecting it, then plugging it into establishing a data center and covering the electricity. The rack, the bandwidth. Once more, space is very costly. Thus, underutilization in that particular situation. This is a really pricey, appropriate state with significant influence on your company's bottom line. So what we can accomplish is efficiently call the doors of businesses that possess a significant amount of this, calculate, and say, hey, we know you most likely have that is, the part of your computer inadequately used. How would you like to very easily relate that to we'll match it with a worldwide network. Somewhat of an, network of demand. We'll pay you back right away. So one of the numerous reasons why I'm optimistic about distributed cloud storage, and especially Ether, yes, this is what I really did. Brief analysis, For the daily altcoin subscribers on Twitter, I divulged the top one deep within alternative coin I'm now accruing, so it possesses 20 times the GPU of the render. The network has 5 times as many T-flops. Computing capacity compared to AOSH network, 31 times increased commitment of capital for infrastructure compared to render network and ACO coupled. Like I already stated, a plethora of infrastructure, which is the reason